random Nick Knowles.
Absolutely. We good to go? And once again, welcome back to the Theatre of Dreams, game number 4 of the pre-season with these Melbourne sides coming down to visit. Bentley Greens taking on the Hobart Zebras. I'm Andrew Cooling for a slice of cheese. Joining me on this glorious afternoon, the sun is shining. If you're tuning in from the mainland, you might not believe the scenes. We've hit over 30 here down in Tassie. It's a rare occurrence, but joining me to describe this one, Paul Hunt. Funty, good afternoon to you, sir. What a glorious afternoon/evening for football we've got.
Isn't that the best day I think I've ever watched a game of football in Hobart? It is absolutely roasting down here, and all those, I have a debate in my 9 to 5 job often about how 30 degrees here is more like 35 in the mainland, and that's certainly the case today. Pitch is looking a treat as well. Hopefully this wind dies down a tad. And
Disagree. This wind is lovely, Funty. Nice bit of relief for the spectators.
I was more meaning for the players rather than our good selves up here.
Them too.
Yeah, well, you know, we should probably think of them. They're the main event rather than us.
Probably doing a bit more movement too than us up here.
I won't be moving too far from this spot for the next 90 minutes unless you kick me out, which I don't think you'll do. Yeah, anyway, great day for football. It reminds me of not quite the hottest I've ever been at a football match in Hobart, but it's coming pretty close. I don't know if you've ever done many summer cup games out at Warrane in 40-degree heat. That's not fun.
No, I think that's about the limit. Pre-seasons when we tend to get them, but thankfully just a bit of breeze cooling off at the moment here this evening, which might give a little bit of relief for the players. And we'll have a look at those players in a moment, starting with the Hobart Zebras, who will be hosting Bentley Greens here, and obviously a few players still out of their best 11 now, but a few changes from last week, starting in net in goal. James Wilson getting the start in a competition with Sheikh Kamara for the number 1 role there, and he gets his chance today. Kamara maybe probably wouldn't be thrilled with his performance last week, so a chance for Wilson to stake his claim. Start there for number 2, Jake Pullen, another one of the Zebras youngsters. He was on the bench last week. Now he gets a start. Deans Bloomfield also with a start. Not sure where he'll line up. He was left back last week, but we can see Luke Warriner has returned to the lineup today. James Ackley, saw a bit of him towards the end of last season. Very small but very silky player, tidy on the ball. Jordan Muller, the metronome in midfield, and Lachlan Burt, another one of those youngsters who's looking to push into the team. Number 9, Dwayne Walsh, and this is where it gets interesting. I've been informed the Dwayne Pipe will be lining up as part of a back 3 at centre-back today. And another one who will be joining him back there, number 13, Luke Huxlute. I've always thought he's had the attributes of a centre-half. Today we're going to see if that gets applied. Now, that could be false news, but that's my mail. Luke Huxlute at centre-back. So
we're eagerly waiting if that's a bit of fake news or not. They're Cooling.
But it'll be a first. I've never met a coach who can convince him to line up there, that's for sure. But
yeah, I've played a fair bit of youth football against Lukey Huxlute, and it's fair to say I was always up against him, and I played right back. So I've never seen him marshalling the defence before, and we know from futsal experience he doesn't really like to sit back too often, so, and neither does the Dwayne Pipe Walsh either, so very bold move from Coach Mark Hage in this pre-season game. Just to round off the lineup, Jakob Schlenage, 10, Luke Warren, who we think will slot back into left back, and then Matty Sanders up top. I mean, they've effectively got 4 strikers, and 2 of them are playing centre back.
Yeah, plenty of striking options in this squad. Perhaps a few clubs searching around for a striker, wondering why there's a short supply of them. Well, most of them are Zebras playing in various positions.
He's just trying to turn everyone into a Dion Dublin. I'm just trying to think the last centre-back striker combo I can think of.
Jamie Harnwell?
Yeah, I remember him popping up one at half A-League season, knocking about 5 goals in.
I just remember on FIFA his position was centre-back/striker. I thought that was the greatest.
It must have been after that season as well.
So we'll finish off with the bench here, and Mattia Statea on the bench, which is an interesting one. The big Italian centre-half. Thought we might have seen him get the start. That's probably why we might be seeing Walsh and Huxley at centre-back. Luke Biggin, Brady Watson, Ali Siddharth, and the backup keeper Sheku Kamara. So a very young bench there for the Zebras. So we move on to the visitors from Bentley, who was so impressive in that victory yesterday over South Hobart. They just flicked the switch, and from that point on, they were dynamite. I'm not sure who we're going to have in net here today, because it's not going to be Ryan Scott. We might just look at the number as he goes out. Number 20, so Pierce Clark. So another one of those men with 2 first names, like for like in goals for the Bentley Greens there. Number 2, Riley Dillon, we saw at fullback. 4, Charlie Fry came in, slotted in at centre back alongside Jack Webster. the captain, the rock in the defence there. Number 7, Jason Hicks, we saw him looking to cut onto his left foot whenever he got the ball yesterday. Number 9, Chris Lucas, was pretty lively up top, as was the boxing match. Number 10, Tyson Holmes. Marko Jankovic, we didn't see a heap from him. We'll look to see what he can offer today. Number 17, Dimi Hatzimaraitis, has been flown in, wasn't even in the state yesterday, I believe, but he's down for this game. Number 19, James Kelly, pretty solid as well yesterday. We've touched on the back, number 2 keeper getting the start today. And Christian Cavallo also lined up as a fullback, which means a number of players who we saw starring yesterday, all on the bench. The backup keeper, Ryan Scott, Marcus Duncan, James Doyle, James Zidius, and the hat-trick hero himself, Matt Thurtell. And I think the centre-backs of Zebras will be very thankful they don't have to contend with the turtle, Matt Thurtell.
Especially with 2 players who aren't known for playing centre-back, they'll be breathing a big sigh of relief with Matt the Turtle Thurtell on the bench. It's also another weird thing where I'm probably going to recognise more Bentley players than Zebras players in this commentary, at least having seen them yesterday. And I was very impressed with both Chris Lucas and the boxing match, Tyson Holmes. I thought they did very well. First time seen him personally yesterday. And then Christian Cavallo, you can see why Bentley are talking up their signing on the social media channels as a good prospect on the wing. Played both left back and left wing yesterday, and I thought had a pretty good match down that sideline, taking most of the set pieces as well, as we see the customary handshakes here today. No South Hobart in action, which means no ball plinth for us here, so very much a more relaxed setup from the referees here today. And speaking of referees, our favourite, the Poison Ivy in the centre, as should be a very good contest with him in charge in the middle. Not sure if they'll have to hold back anyone a la Benny Whitehall style from the Southern Championship League decider last year, but we're looking forward to that, with Stratos and Zach Vandertor as the AR2.
Van der Tour, I like it.
Oh,
very,
Vandertor.
very Dutch, just adding in the
I've
der.
just added in the der, yeah.
Van der Vaart was a little favourite of mine, so I'm all for it.
Real favourite of mine as well.
Speaking of favourites, the Colonel striding out there for the coin toss. It just seems like the type of day you wouldn't change the end from what you're standing at. You get underway, but the wind could be a factor, and really interested to see what this game holds. Talking about Bentley yesterday, the way they just flicked the switch, started pressing a half an hour into it. Just every now and then they turn it on for a bit and cause some problems. They didn't maintain it for the whole game, and certainly you could tell when they dialed up the pressure, just overwhelmed the defence of South Hobart a bit. So a big test for these Zebras this afternoon.
Also looking forward to my first game of Gabby Marcaj's time at Zebras. Missed the game last week, so interested to see what the Albanian-Italian manager can strike up here. Clearly going with an experimental defence, and as we look at it, Dwayne Pipe is moving into centre-back.
Luke Huxley just instinctively went to play striker and then realised, yes, I am in fact a centre-back.
Yeah, indeed. And then we see we've got Bloomfield out at kind of a right wing-back or right-back, I'd assume. Huxley and Wayne Walsh high-fiving together there, probably trying to figure out what on earth do we do with this position here. Never played in my life.
Yeah, so an interesting centre-back pairing that, and we'll see how they tested a back four. Looks like 4-5-1 or 4-4-2 they're starting off with here. Zebras, the change from last week. The diamond didn't quite work for them. But they'll be a bit more compact and defensive this week, I reckon.
Yes, I was enjoying Gabby Marcaj's Insta story asking everyone out there how many buses he'll park today. It was either double parked or none was the poll response. So I think that gives a small indication of what the Zebras are likely to do today. First touch there for the Colonel Sanders, trying to get it out wide, but immediately pressured. The boxing match, Holmes getting on it again. Back into the centre, put it out wide to Cavallo, who's back at left back again. No real changes there, and that's a lovely chip through ball out to the wing. Back inside, and Huxley just thumps that one out. Nearly into the playground for a throw-in. But as we can tell, just trying to wrap our heads around this formation. Looks like Pullen's gone centre mid as well for Zebras, so a real change up from them.
Yeah, I think 4-5-1's what they're running with. Sklanage up top leading the line, and he gets his head on this, but it sprays behind for Webster. And Again, we saw the patience with which Bentley were prepared to build their attacks yesterday. They pulled the trigger a little bit early this time, and Luke Warner easily picks that one out. Jake pulling to the Dwayne pipe. Lining up at centre back. Got a bit of the Wolfman about him with that beard that just continues to grow there. Dwayne Walsh, very impressive.
Yeah, he'll end up full Wolverine by the end of the season if he keeps that one up. But nice summer trim for Walsh as we see Charlie Fry into the boxing match. Holmes falls a little short, and Muller just manages to get a scoop pass out to Pullen. Good turn from the Colonel, showing his experience there. Clenage trying to get through, and well cut out from Stephen Fry, using all of those mental attributes to just know where to put the foot in there.
He did well, Fry. Blocked off that channel as we see Lucas tearing off after this one. Walsh for company, the two number 9s doing battle. He goes back to the impressive fullback Cavallo. Really liked his game yesterday. Building through James Kelly now. Good defence though from Warner, just holding his ground. And eventually Muller clears the area to Fry. Out to Riley Dillon. The wind just starting to howl a little bit through here. Through the microphones, we can certainly pick it up. Wide to go the Greens. Christian Cavallo looks to run, but ran straight into trouble. It was good coverage from young Pullen there. Got across and broke that up. Works it nicely to Sklenage, who needs to hold up and wait for some support, which eventually comes from Beans Bloomfield. He immediately finds all options shut off here. The boxing match. He grabbed a fistful of his shirt, but gets away with it. Just blindsiding the ref there. If you're going to pull the shirt, make sure that side's the one you grab.
Yeah, always the best option there. I think Gary Marquez in the sideline there screaming for more options for Bloomfield, as Walsh wasn't quite offering, especially when he turned that way. As we see Bentley looking to try and probe and break through. There's Cavallo in all sorts of space out here. First goes to the boxing match. Tries to play the through ball, but well cut out from Bloomfield. Now plays a 1-2 with Pullen. Boxing match manages to intercept and goes out to Yankovic, who looking to see more of today after not seeing him too much yesterday. Being on the grandstand side will certainly help. And then just a lot of nothing there from Zebras in clearance. Back to Strawberry Kisses. First touch on the ball for him today. Now James Kelly. Don't see too many people who sign with Bolton rock the top knot. That's an interesting choice of haircut.
Yeah, you might see it increasingly, but it's no Kevin Davies, that's for sure.
Nah, certainly not. You wouldn't tackle that out of you in about 5 minutes with the normal leading foul getter in Premier League seasons.
Always a favourite. Tyson Holmes switches this one.
See the rumour he was signing Chelsea last week? It's the most fake news story I've seen all year.
Well, they were linked with Peter Crouch, so, you know, Kevin Davies, if we're going down that English centre forward, lob it up to him types, why not?
Well, why not, as we see Geordie Muller play that one out wide. Clenage dropping into a more number 10 role. And good switch of play from Zebras, which just needed to be played out in front of Bloomfield. Trying to keep possession, and not quite in that case. Pulling with the foul. Poison Ivy nearly calling it, letting play on. Cavallo at the deepest position he's been all day. Next up, plays that one out to the wing. A couple of options inside, one of which is Hicks. Eventually goes there to the left footer. Riley Dillon then. Cavallo making a nice run in behind Bloomfield. Tries to chip that one back post, and he went very, very back post. All over the head of everyone else. Good 1-2 between the Zebras players there. Lockie Burt now streaming forward, little push in the back, but enough ball on it. You now see options opening up for the Zebras to the back post. Clenage, he just gets it saved by Clark, the reserve keeper. That was a crucial save from MPL Taz. Best marksman, Ackley. Now looking near post, but right down the breadbasket. A good opportunity there for Jacobs Clenage.
That's really encouraging for Zebras. They didn't craft a chance remotely resembling that last week. Got one early, the first meaningful lookers over the top now. Charging after this one is Chris Lucas. He retreats back to Tyson Holmes. As the Zebras now forced back in defence. I just wonder if they might regret Clenage not putting that one away, though. I'm not sure how many chances like that they're going to get today. Usually clinical check, just a bit too narrow to the keeper there, who made a smart stop as Dillon with a bit of space, running at Warriner, cuts in on the left, blocked off by Muller. And Huxley read that well and just thumps it out there with the long levers. It'll be tough to get around Lukey Huxley. There's a chip ball and sprinting in behind. That looked dangerous, but Dwayne Pipe hacks it clear.
Yeah, playing pretty much when in doubt, kick it out from there as we look at that replay of Slanage. By getting on the end of that one, both Walsh and Huxley very much going on the when in doubt, kick it out policy. And just notice before they were tend to be dropping off following the runs rather than trying to play offside.
Tell you what, that was well won there by Huxley. Just stuck out the foot and seemed miles away and just took the striker there, Lucas, by surprise, wondering how he got his foot to that ball.
He's got long enough legs to be a centre-back. I mean, that's one crucial thing, sticking a leg out, and he's certainly got that capacity. As we see Hicks pick the ball up in centre mid, playing out to Riley Dillon, playing more of an advanced role today than we saw yesterday. Tries to turn the defender inside out. No luck there. The boxing match, Tyson Holmes battling with Lukey Huxley, and that's an absolute wrestling match between the two of them there. Absolute takedown, and you just wanted to keep it going there, but that was a fairly blatant foul from the boxing match. That's a hold and a break if that's in the ring.
I'd love to have another look at that. It was interesting. It seemed like Huxley started marching him across the field, and then many players grabbed hold of him and go, "What are you doing?" And he slung him. It's suddenly Wilson under pressure here. We saw the Bentley keeper get into trouble yesterday with that, but Wilson keeps his cool and just got rid of it in time. Here's the Colonel. Cross to Warriner. Now to play off Charlie Fry.
Yeah, well, Mark Cash is barking out instructions there as we have a look at this faux wrestling match between Holmes and Huxley, and then a little push afterwards. I do like Holmes saying, "What was that for?" That's my favourite thing when they appeal for that kind of stuff.
Well, the boxing match looking to start one there, perhaps. Big Lukey Huxley. What had about?
Yeah, give Action Jackson a call. He'd be in the area preparing for his next fight, so there's a fair bit of experience down here to train up Huxley if they want to go 1v1.
I don't even think we need to train him up. Just look at the lad. He'd do some damage.
Well, he's certainly got the height and reach advantage. Let's give him that.
Oh, he's got the reach. That's the key. Yeah, he's got the reach. As we see Sanders flick this one for Lockie Burt, who takes off, but his pass is easily picked off there at the back.
A bit less pressure on the keeper from Zebras compared to South Hobart yesterday, not quite employing such a high press. Very much sitting back with a good 8 behind the ball at all times.
Yeah, they look very organised at the moment, the Zebras, in their defensive structures, getting plenty of bodies back behind the ball. As you mentioned, not employing the press. We might see them flick the switch and do that for 10 minutes or so, but at the moment...
Oh, you wouldn't want to in this heat anyway. Last about 10 minutes maximum.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why you're better off just going with the multiple buses that were posed on Snapchat earlier.
Yep. It's maybe a recipe for Bert Van Marwick come the World Cup. We can only but hope as Cavallo picks it up on the left wing to try and turn Bloomfield.
I think you've got the perfect scenario there, Funty, with Van Marwijk, the Socceroos. Probably going to be the less talented team against the World Cup opponents. So we pull a couple of banks of 4 and Magna 5 and just sit back.
4-5-1. Let Yednak and Milligan hack anything that comes in the centre. Teach Robbie Cruz how to cross, and we're in business.
That's all I've been wanting. That's all I've wanted. Now, Ange Postecoglou is going to go down as the greatest Socceroos manager of all time, but he was frustrating me a little with the insistence on the beautiful game, as Bentley, who very much adhere to that, have slid one through, but the offside flag is raised, which will deny them the chance to take the lead here.
Yeah, pretty obvious offside call, that one. But yeah, Ange was getting a bit Jogger Benito there for a while, and there's a time and a place. Japan away is not a time for Jogger Benito.
Yeah, not with the defenders we got, not with Baby Wright and Deganek.
Yeah, not quite. Not sure who my first choice was being, but I did want a pragmatist, so I'm happy about that. And fortunately, let's hope that means we won't get absolutely flogged at the World Cup against 3 top 15 teams as we return to live play. Stephen Fry manages to get that down the line. It's a very good ball, very unexpected to... I'm not even going to attempt Dimmy's name. He's going to be called Dimmy all day, let's be honest, as Kelly gets that one out to Riley Dillon. Looking to try and attack past Warren at Dwayne Walsh. Manages to kick that into his own hand, and Poison Ivy with a clear view of that thought, nah, not calling that one. In a generous mood today.
Natural position, I guess.
Yeah.
kicked it up into his own arm. Bit clumsy there at the Dwayne pipe.
That is true, but I mean, it's also the other argument of who controlled the football. Cavallo looks at the left wing. Can't get past Bloomfield. And Ackley helping him out, the second defender there. Kelly with a storming run in between. Looks to hit that off. Manages to falcon himself off the Uxley after the shot. And that's got to hurt. That's a self-inflicted falcon as we have a look at that at replay. I hope we get that in slow-mo once he hits it. That was a spectacular effort. So as he's fired that one right into the foot of Huxley and copped him square in the noggin afterwards.
Long-range headed attempt, I guess it goes down as.
Yeah, those ambitious 23-yard headers on goal.
Yeah. Falcon on target. I'm not sure how we classify that one.
Yeah, no idea. And doing the obvious checks for head injuries and such. Also just waiting for the ball, I think.
I don't think the players are in any rush. A couple of minutes, just some respite. Will suit them just fine before James Wilson gets us back underway. The Colonel dropping in very short like we saw Nick Morton doing frequently yesterday. And he might have a slightly deeper role in the team this year with the arrival of Jakob Sklenage.
Yeah, we saw last year Huxley playing that role of the kind of attacking mid, but who would sometimes drop back just to get the ball. And with both Sklenage coming in the field taking Sanders' spot, you've got to try and fit them in somewhere. So it's a good strategy to try out in pre-season from Coach Gabby Marcage. There's, with the obvious heat difference between yesterday, not quite as high a tempo as we saw to start the game yesterday. Back to Webster. He's now wide to the left back. He's looking centrally. It's a good ball. Hicks onside, hits it on the volley, and a good block there from Lukey Warrener coming across from his defensive position. Had to make the stop there. Bloomfield into Walsh. Looks to play a 1-2. It's slightly under hit and really sold Walsh up the river there. Nice turn right into the attacking player. Now Hicks is a free man in the centre. Surely a tap in, and keeper just gets there in time, does Wilson. Does very well to claim that one right off the foot of the Bentley attacker. It's a good piece of play from Zebras. Going to look inside to Sklenage, but Dillon goes sliding in. Sklenage determined to keep a foot on it. Eventually falls out wide to Hicks, who's now moved out this side. To Lucas. Only really got his left back to pass to, and that's where he goes to Cavallo. It's out wide to Dillon. Good chest control. He's against Warrener. Looks for the 1-2 with the boxing match. Back to James Kelly. Used to this heat with all his experience in Geelong and Essendon. He's probably done a few warm pre-seasons in his time.
Yeah, Props Kelly, experienced customer, as Ackley goes back in toward Jordan Muller as the Zebras now just transitioning out of that defensive setup they had. Very much a 4-5-1, and they haven't got the ball. And 9 men firmly behind the ball, and that's a good play. Just slightly behind Warrener though from Bloomfield as he turns and heads upfield. It was a poor pass. Couldn't pick out Lockie Burton now. Danger building for the Greens here. Lucas is on in the middle. He's marked now by Walsh. Huxley just holding him up, and the chip over the top allows Muller to go back to Wilson. So well covered by the Zebras defence there.
I was surprised to see not that many Bentley Greens players streaming in. There was just the one up there and a good 5 Zebras players back, so there really wasn't too many options. Not quite that keenness to get forward we saw yesterday. It's a good kick for touch there by the keeper Wilson.
That said, first 25 minutes of yesterday, Bentley were pretty content to sit back. South were controlling things then. And then they flicked a switch and suddenly they looked the team we expected. So interesting to see. I'd have to say, Sklenage was shortly brought down, but play on the kill, and now over the top, Wilson should collect this one, and he chips it up the field in the Sanders direction, but Tyson Holmes chested it down straight to the Colonel, Bloomfield.
Pretty hard to recognise the Colonel with that very much number kind of 2 buzz cut he's got going around there. No hard time spotting him this year.
Yeah, he certainly had the trim. There's the Colonel.
Geordie Muller now looking to try and play a diagonal ball where there's 2 Zebras players in an acre of space down here. Ackley got a couple of options. Sklenage making a near post run. Should go out to Bloomfield, but that's well covered there by Strawberry Kisses. Now the ever Global. Cavallo streaming forward. Dwayne Walsh should take a step up. That's good covering from Geordie Muller. Can he keep it in? Does well there as the defender. Dwayne Pipe inside to Pullen. Out of Bloomfield. Back out wide to Ackley, who we saw on the wing towards the end of last season do quite well. Sanders back to Luke Hughes-Lute. Good ball out to Warrenup. A good switch of play this season. That's surely a foul from Stephen Fry. Good talking to from the poison. Actually, it's a slice of cheese. 16 minutes in to a pre-season game. He's not afraid to dish out the cards, is Ivan. It's a pretty obvious foul, but certainly we saw more harsher fouls yesterday, not given a cheese.
Yeah, I don't mind that though from Ivan, if he's going to set the precedent there early. It was a pretty blatant hack down because Warrener was storming past him. I think in a regular season game he would not bat an eyelid at Dose of Dairy being dished out there, so I don't mind seeing that called. It is kind of strange how in the pre-season we play under an entirely different set of rules. Well, it's always just amused me that.
Yeah, it's slightly different, but that's right. Going into the look. Hit to the back post. Bloomfield turned away from that one and lost it in the sun. Cavallo always looking to go forward, and that's a good tactical foul there from Bloomfield. Taking it short to the boxing match is Cavallo. Zebra's very much getting back in their shape. Very eager to get back into that as soon as possible. Kelly threads the needle between three as far as Hicks. Back to Fry. Now to James Kelly. Into Strawberry Kisses, who looks to play a nice through ball. That's going to be too much pace on it though. Maybe in about July when the pitch is a bit heavier, that'll hold up nicely, but not quite in January.
Yeah, not on this carpet, but give it a few months. Yeah, the weather will reverse to normality and might just hold up there. Slightly overhit Webster, looking to make something happen, and we saw yesterday how good Bentley are when they do decide to play those killer balls through into the box. There's some real class as Wilson just shanks that one out of play. It's like me off the third tee, that one. Real fade on it.
Just like he got a decent bounce, otherwise it wouldn't have ended up here in the grandstand as Webster lays it out to Dylan. Looks back to Fry. Pretty much everyone within about a 30-metre gap here. Cavallo just gets his foot on it, goes first time and hits that one closer to the playground than he does to the goal, and that one's lost down there, so new ball's needed, I think. Hope there's a spare line around. So that will take some time to retrieve. There we go.
Multi-ball system just being rolled out as we have another look at the yellow card here for Fry. Steps in front of him, brings him down. Cynical, that one.
Yeah, not really within about 3 metres. Okay, still barking out instructions to his team in terms of where to go from the goal kick. Wilson did better kick on that one. Squanage wins the header. Unfortunately, Fry was making a storming run from the right back. Hughes-Lute slides in and gets one of those long legs to the ball. If that was you or I, that probably would have been a penalty, but luckily he's about a foot taller than both of us.
That right there is why I don't mind him at centre-back. He can cover with those type of tackles. It's going to be the reading of the game in an unfamiliar position that might undo him, but in terms of getting around him, not many people can. And that was a fantastically timed challenge from Hughes-Lute. So confirmation of that early yellow card there for Fry, and they might have been caught out by the quick throw here. It's chipped in. Lucas on the volley. Didn't get all of it.
Yeah, didn't quite fully commit to the bicycle kick there, did Lucas. And maybe coming across Bloomfield did just enough to put his head in the way, just to stop him getting that bit of extra elevation to keep it down. Short to the Dwayne Pipe. Wilson now kills that one. It's going to stay in. Pushing the back called. The poison ivy on Cavallo. So Sanders looks to take the quick free kick and just belts it into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he saw there, the Colonel. He looked like he spotted a run as he whacked the quick free kick, but no one back there.
I mean, there's no one there, and then there's no one there. I mean, there wasn't anyone within about 30 yards of that as Wayne Walsh just gets ahead to it, and a chin. Does quite well to keep that up from there, and he's got time to go forwards. Glenarge trying to stay onside, manages to come back on. Now the centre back gets there. Colonel Sanders just gets a foot to it. No foul given from referee Ivan. Colonel Sanders not happy about that decision, and it's time to break for Bentley with Dimmy, and unfortunately Dimmy hits that one high and wide for a goal kick, and Colonel Sanders still remonstrating. Here's the poison ivy. I thought that was a foul as well, but there you go.
Yeah, I've got that unfortunate pole right in my vision of that one, Fundy, so I'll leave that judgment to you, but I just thought perhaps the one mistake that was there was maybe the option to pass to him. He had another option slightly further afield and just passing back a little bit. Might have just killed some momentum in that attack, but it was pretty good build-up from the Zebras, who were looking much more organised unit than they did 7 days ago.
Yeah, well, they look a little more organised and compact at the back. There's nothing organised. Gabby Marcage's hand movements down on the sideline. We really need Marcage, Cam, going on down there. He is up and about, despite it being a pre-season game.
Get the GoPro on one of his assistants or one of the subs or something. The fantastic television that would be.
Yeah, I'm not sure about if we can, our wonderful producer can organise red button for Marcage Cam, but we're going to do our best this season. As Warren can't quite play that one out of defence. Hugh Sloot ends up bailing him out. Plays an inadvertent 1-2. Now to Sklenarge, who looks like he's going to be chasing it in the back, surely, from Fry. And he's already on a yellow card. Is Stephen Fry. Ivan, I don't, has taken quite a liking to him so far in terms of having a chat and a cheese.
Not a whole lot in that. It's a pretty blatant push. It's accentuated a little, and just a foul as Muller looks to get it to Sklenarge, and there's a real battle. The best centre forward in the state up against one of the best centre backs outside of the A-League. A real wrestling match going on there.
Reminded me of the Grunwald versus Sklenarge battles from last MPL season up there. He's not afraid to put his body out. He's Sklenarge, sorry for the laugh there. Gabby Marcage is doing a nice butt wiggle down there on the sideline, right in my view.
We do need Marcage, Cam.
I mean, it's been 23 minutes and it's already distracting me from the actual competition at hand. As we see Nicky Warren strutting across to take the throw in. With a loopy one in that direction, and surely a Bentley throw in, despite the appeals to the contrary. Dylan looking like taking the throw in. Back to the ever popular Stephen Fry. Now, 2 strawberry kisses. Gets it out to Yankovic. One of the tallest left backs I think I've ever seen. James Kelly playing inside to Hicks. Going as far as pulling. Miscommunication there, but Ackley eventually falls on it. Leaves it a bit short for the Colonel. Ends up getting it out to Bloomfield. That's probably the right thing from Bloomfield. Just giving him an option. There's Kelly with the tight bun on top of his head out to Dylan.
There's not a whole lot of hair in that top.
There isn't. That's what's putting me off.
Riley Dylan is denied there by Hugh Sloot, and then he smashes it out of there. It's about a couple of strands.
Yeah, barely enough to do it. I'm not sure if it's just stop a bit of sweaty hair in the face, but it's, yeah, interesting look. Not that I'm a fashionista by any chance.
I'm the last person to be criticising anyone's hair, that's for sure, but just one of the many curious looks. On Salad Watch, as per usual, at Slice of Cheese. Normal nonsense. Every
commentary's got their niche. We do like a bit of Salad Watch.
So Yankovic picks this one up. In the middle, again, the Zebras dropping 9 behind the ball and just denying him space. So they go wide to Riley Dylan, who was offside. So doesn't get the chance, and it's a well-played offside trap.
Yeah, very well done there from Zebras, despite being very compact, still managing to get some offside there, and I mean, I'll be pretty content, I think, not to have conceded in this first 25 minutes. It's one of the main, I guess, criticisms of Marcage's coaching is the will of conceding goals. It's often been a little leaky defence. It's good to see a nice compact defence from him as the goal kick taken by Wilson. And as far as Kelly, and there's a break opportunity here through the boxing match. Inside to Lucas. Keeper out, lifts it over the keeper, and that's 1-0 to Bentley Greens. Lucas does very well to get that over the top of Wilson. As soon as we praised Hobart Zebra's compact defence, commentator's curse comes in, and it's 1-0 to the Greens.
Yeah, Chris Lucas gets him on the score sheet here. It was very quick, just sliding it through in between of Hugh Sloot and Walsh, and it's a classy finish. Keeper comes out. It's a delicate, deft little chip over the top. Well done from Lucas, and just as it was yesterday, around about 25 into the game, Bentley go, all right, let's go now, and promptly hit the back of the net.
Yeah, very good commitment there from Dwayne Walsh anyway, just absolutely poleaxing himself into the back of the net, but couldn't quite get there as the Dwayne pipe hits it to Hugh Sloot. Into Geordie Muller. Splanage wanting it short. Bloomfield's free out on the wing. Eventually looks to go there. He's got Lockie Bird in front of him, eventually looking for Muller, but Muller is straight offside in any case. Advantage played. And Pierce Clark, whose name I've probably had to call twice so far today, gets another touch on the ball. General James Kelly looks out wide to Cavallo. Okay, first touch, but not as far as Burt. Walsh and Bloomfield look to get it out. Burt on his heels and easily intercepted from Yankovic. Dimmy now getting in a good position, but skews that one a bit. Hugh Sloot wanting a runner. He's got Lockie Burt, but has just overhit him, I think. And correct call there from the assistant referee on the far side.
Charlie Fry across to Webster. Now Yankovic. Straight offside temporarily, and then he cut back in, not on the same page as Christian Cavallo there, was the dim sim as he pressures here, Dwayne Walsh. Thumped up the line, Webster will marshal that one. Turns now and looks to bring it back upfield to Fry. Now Kelly. Looked quite as threatening without Matt Thurtell leading the line today, Bentley, but they've still got plenty of quality. Chief among them, this man, Tyson Holmes, as they now look to work it in the Lucas direction. A heavy touch though, spills through, easily gathered by Wilson. A big occasion this one for James Wilson, competing with Kamara for that starting role. A strong showing today, could give him perhaps the early advantage in what we have a pretty entertaining contest between those two.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see who ends up lining up once the season kicks off in a couple of months' time between those two. Both of NPL qualities. That's a lovely through ball to Hicks. He's got Dimmy on one side, eventually hits the dim sim. Good 1-2 and eventually cleared from Bloomfield. Good covering defence there from the young defender. Just a nice promising passage of play from Bentley again. And just gets a toe in before he could get the shot away. Did Bloomfield.
Not quite crisp enough of the pass there. Well done, Bloomfield, reading the game intelligently. Christian Cavallo to send this one in. And does just that, and a penalty's been blown. So he spotted something there, the referee, and he's pointed straight to the spot. We'll have to have a look on the replay.
He's already called it there. The arm's already out. So I feel he's seen something in the back of the play there. Currently having a chat to Colonel Sanders.
So Sanders is who he's talking to. Where's Sanders in that video? The back post.
Sanders is nowhere near anyone.
I think it's out of picture, unfortunately for
I
us.
think it's completely out of picture. I mean, I
got something at the back post. There might have been a shirt grab at the back post while this ball's been played in now, because he's already called it here.
Yeah, the arm's already pointed to the spot there. So an interesting call there from Poison Ivy. We'll have to trust his judgment on that one. I admittedly was looking more near post. As the penalty taken by Lucas, and Cooley slots that one home. But it looks like that's going to have to be retaken. So a nice bit of drama here from Poison Ivy in a pre-season game. Nothing too simple.
I'm very reliably informed that Webster was being held at the back post. So no disagreement from our new head of referees overseeing this one.
Well, if it's good enough for him, we'll certainly trust everyone's judgment as Lucas takes up to retake the spot kick again and puts it in the exact same spot as the first one, and that's the second goal for Bentley Greens. After penalty awarded on the foul of Webster, and Lucas He slots that one home, and good replacement for Thurtell so far. After 32 minutes, is the number 9.
Yeah, Chris Lucas doing the job well. Looked lively yesterday when we saw him, and Bentley now 2 to the good, half an hour into this one, and the Zebras' impressive early start has unfortunately become slightly undone here. A couple of lapses at the back, and just a bit of shirt grabbing at that corner apparently.
It's I think we might have to try and get a hold of Gabby Marquez's personal video camera that's to the left of us for that one. He'll probably have that one recorded, so we'll trust the new head of refereeing seeing that from up here in the grandstand.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way you stamp it out. You give a couple of penalties for that early in the year, and defenders are suddenly a little less handsy as the season wears on.
I'm just disappointed Marquez has employed his own camera person this year. Clearly sick of the sound of our dulcet tones, having to listen to us last year in his video analysis.
Oh, he had it last year too, I think. He's an absolute disciple of the game, I'll give him that. The analysis and the scouting work he does is more intense than anyone else in the state. There's a few areas clearly that brought him unstuck at Kingborough, but fascinating story this year to see how he goes with this talented Zebras team, how much he's learnt. That's going to be one of the real threads to follow this year, I think, in Tasmanian football.
Yeah, absolutely. No disrespect to Kingborough's lineup, but this Zebras one is in class above. Always one of the top 4 teams since NPL started, and indeed back to Southern Premier League. It's been a while since they've had a dry spell at the Zebras. I mean, they have in terms of trophies, but always been up there in the last few years, so we'll see what he can do. And Jankovic on the ball to Kelly. In to Dimmy, who I think wants a few more touches. Out of the boxing match, who's got Muller for company.
Someone just skates on past. The old skateboard being pulled out Darcy straight now.
Sounds like a jet engine, but I do assure you it's all of a skateboard. Piers Clark manages to pick that one up. Zebra's not in too much of a hurry to push up out of defence. Boxing match drops really deep to pick that one up. Goes to Kelly. Now to Hicks. Got Dylan and Dimmy for company. Back to James Kelly. Riley Dillon, 1v1. Manages to get inside, and Hughesloot again with the big leg sticking out to take that off the foot of the Bentley Greens player. Quick throw in. Another boxing match.
See a lot of centre-backs who read the play, get in front of the attackers to win the ball. Hughesloot just doesn't really need to. He just waits until it's at their feet and then extends the leg and suddenly surprise them.
Yeah, if he can combine, if he can get their kind of mental awareness of reading the play in that unfamiliar position, he'll be a hell of a customer at centre-back. Depend if he decides to go a bit David Luiz on us and gets a bit forward excitement. I think if he keeps that as a permanent position, that's what we'll have to wait for. Calls of handball from everyone, but the referee not having a bar of it. Fry plays a 1-2 with Dylan. And he's got Warrener for company, and Hughesloot just pops the head in the way. Good touch from Walter in the background there. As you have a look at that handball.
Yeah, I think that was. I think that one's been missed.
No real other way for him to control that, unfortunately.
As the corner's quickly taken short to Fry, taking the Zebras by surprise, and he plays it back in. Wilson claims it nicely. Just a bit too central, the delivery there.
Wilson managed to get that one quickly, and there was absolutely no one more than 25 yards out from the Zebras goal. Outside of Jankovic, who stayed back in the centre circle. There's no one for him to go to. Eventually he hoofs it in the direction of Colonel Sanders. Can't quite find Sklanage. Now the boxing match, and Hicks have a miscommunication. Hughesloot goes to the chip through ball, which is nicely done, and that one's Rocky Burt, who seems to have switched wings and just leaves that one short for the Colonel. Now the boxing match can have take 2 in terms of threading the needle. Points direction. Hughesloot again with a long leg slide challenge. We'll be seeing plenty more of that if he keeps holding this position. Hackerley just runs into his opposing number 4. All over the back of Dylan, who shepherds it out for a throw. Boxing match. Just assessing the situation. And goes to Strawberry Kisses. And a pretty quiet game so far. Hasn't really had to do too much. Walsh getting in with Webster, who gets his foot in again, and now in the nosebleed section. Up here, looks to play the through ball to Hicks, and that's right into the roof of the net. 3-0 to Bentley Greens. The centre-back strides forward and lays on an assist for Hicks.
Well done, Webster there. Composure from the centre-back. He must have been tempted. Not too often he was going to be in a position like this, streaming in on goal. The eyes must have lit up. Chance maybe just to bend it. Instead, he slides it through the legs of Hughes-Lute. And a very composed finish from Hicks. He takes it and just roofing it over the top of Wilson. Leaves the keeper no chance there. Great technique on the strike, and it's 3-0 to the Bentley Greens. The big centre half marauding forward. Slightly disappointed he didn't go all selfish and try and score a spectacular solo goal, but I suspect his coach might be quite happy with the decision-making there.
I think John A will be very happy with that decision-making, and good to see Webster get on the board on the stat sheet in a meaningful way. We won't see strawberry kisses in the countdown today, but he'll be certainly in this stats rundown today. As obviously pulling on the ball, trying to find Muller, but Hicks gets a toe in the way. Lucas.
Well done, Hughes-Lute.
Hughes-Lute has done exceptionally well to step up there, bailing out his centre mid.
Gambled.
Look at that again, and he full-on sprints up, and Lucas was running the other way. It's a tidy finish from Lucas, which would have been, I believe, his hat-trick. It's well done from Lukey Hughes-Lute.
Yeah, two options there. You could either go the big slide and try and reach, or just jump up and catch him offside, and he did. And a good decision by Van Tor on the line there. So the Zebras survive going further down, but as this half has worn on, Bentley looking more and more likely. There's not been too much play up this end of the ground. We had that Sklenage chance early, which was denied by the keeper, and since then, not a whole lot else. They defended well for a little while, but now perhaps tiring a little bit. Bentley upping the intensity. And Tyson Holmes just glides around Geordie Muller there, and then with a lazy little pass for the overlapping fullback, crossing in the stick at Wilson, who's just fumbled it over the line, so it'll be a corner.
Yeah, there was a player free at the back post that I think was where Cavallo was looking for. Unfortunately, just hit that too far near, and Wilson just looking to catch that one, but gone out of play. Yeah, good call again from the assistant referee on the far side. Cavallo take another corner from the grandstand side of Darcy Street. Ends up going short to Webster. Inside to Hicks now. Cavallo, he'll look to get this on his left. Instead goes back to Webster. It's Dillon. Actually worked to the far side from Bentley, and now the cross comes into the back post, and Hicks just can't quite get his leg extended enough to whip that one back in. He wasn't too far away. Not bad set piece routine there from Bentley, just switching it to the far side and leaving a player at the back post to try and hit.
Yeah, the end product's been pretty good from the Greens over the past 130 minutes of football.
Good quick maths there. Would have taken me much longer.
It's James Wilson. Lights this one up. That's a worry, Fundy.
Yeah.
Sklenage unable to win it, and Riley Dillon tracking it down as just sprays out of play. 39 minutes gone. Must be just past that on the hottest 100 too.
Yeah, we would be. We would be indeed. Last about 45 when I pulled up in the car. So you see, throw in looking likely in the direction of Colonel Sanders. Gets a good flick on header, and Sklenage just shepherded out of the way from Webster, and Yankovic tidy that one up, no problem.
God, every year I look at this hottest 100 and I just feel more and more like Principal Skinner. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Yeah, they are certainly wrong so far. There's been a whole lot I've really enjoyed. I mean, I've recognised it from the car radio, but I couldn't tell you the artist or song title, I'll put it that much.
More than happy to be here at the football, watching the Bentley Greens put on a show. Far more enjoyable as a chance perhaps for Ackley as they make some inroads down the left. He's got 3 to pick out in the middle. Ackley gets onto his preferred right. Oh, a bit of trickery and then slipped over. Now the cross comes in, but it's repelled away there by Kelly. And they should be able to steer it away through Hicks, and eventually it'll be Geordie Muller to pick it back up.
Important touch there from the Bentley defender as Pullen was eagerly awaiting Just to prod that one in the direction of the goal, and now a quick ball. I think he's onside.
Oh.
Here's Lucas, and he is too. He's got Dimmy in front of him. Was he in front of the ball? Dimmy gets a fourth for Bentley Greens. Lovely counter-attacking play. They'd all sat on the halfway line at Zebras, and one killer through ball to pierce the defence. And they were off and running, Bentley Greens. An incisive counter-attack for 4-0.
Yeah, Dimmy Hatzimaratis, the Dim Sim, finishing with a plum there. And it was, again, just all too easy. One pass and they're in behind here. That's the only question. Did he hold his run or not? Tough angle from our camera to really go.
Yeah, it is.
You need the straight line camera for that
Yeah,
one.
we need a first down line for that one.
Yeah.
Just put on the screen, I think, to ever judge that one.
Yeah, tough one to call, I reckon. But
Another reason for VAR, just send that one up for us to double check.
all for it. All for it. But speaking of four, it's now 4-0, and this is starting to get ugly. The Bentley Greens really putting them to the sword. The superiority is starting to be reflected. And a bit like South yesterday, just can't handle it when they do. Attack with pace. Sanders nods on, but Skinage was not there waiting for it. He made a different run, and the willingness to get back and form that compact unit hasn't quite been there as the half's worn on. A few tired bodies, I reckon, as this is chipped towards Wilson. 2 minutes before the half.
I mean, I've seen a few nice 1-2s from Zebras, and I can kind of see what they're trying to do, especially in these kind of situations. Two comes short, one goes long, but Bentley just get a foot in the way, and we see that again as the boxing match manages to turn and tries to play through Hicks, but no luck there, and just not sure if the heat's taking it more out of Zebras. So I see Walsh and Bloomfield looking like they'd really like a good, cool glass of water about now.
Yeah, it's hard to know if it's, I suppose, just the heads dropping a little bit, having shipped 4, or the heat just causing them to fatigue a bit. I'd suspect the latter. Very tough day to be out there playing for a team early in the pre-season, as Tyson Holmes doing some lovely work between the lines, and there's enough room to drive a truck through that gap, unfortunately, between Hughesloot and Warriner, and the Greens take full advantage. It's now 5-0, and it's all too easy. It's Dimmy again, was it?
Yep.
He's helped himself to a second, and it's now 5, and just far too much space there to be exploited.
Yeah, almost like it was in slow motion, that goal, and we were talking before how the Zebras are calling for half time. I think just that intensity, I mean, the gap between the two centre-backs of Warriner and Hughesloot, nice little touch again from Samoritis to get that one there. And look, I do think Wilson in this battle with Kamara, he hasn't had too much help from his defence, but
He's been done no favours. He's been done no favours, that's for sure. Warriner did end up closing that gap too, but too skilled there for Dimmy. Just skipped around like a witch's hat and fired it into the corner.
yeah. And really on their legs, Jankovic puts that one out, and Dwayne Walsh is in absolutely no hurry to take this throw in the slightest. Is there anything loosen up? Low blow. Well, this is turning into a low blow for Hobart Zebras. It's hurting, especially with the boxing match.
There's plenty of
With the
high
traffic.
blows.
Yeah, plenty of everything.
Your Rainmaker's being thrown. And right now, the Zebras have just about been knocked out of this, certainly as a contest. So they'll be looking to improve in the second half, but Bentley threatening to run up a cricket score here, and that'll be all she wrote for the first half, as a spectacular effort is denied by Wilson right on the whistle. And that will be half-time, 5-0, and Bentley in complete and utter control here. They've outclassed the Zebras, who started promisingly there for a little while, but simply couldn't hold on. And it's been far too easy. The cream has risen to the top, Paul Hunt.
Yeah, it certainly has. There's a pretty obvious gulf in class between the two sides here today. Bentley Greens clinical with their finishing. They've scored 5 and probably only had maybe 7 shots on target, so they've done well with that one. Oh, looking a bit sunburn out there as well, a few of the players. Just looking at the assistant referee on the far side. Very rosy red cheeks out there as we have a look at the highlights of the first half. And it's all been one-way traffic.
But the first chance was Zebras, and one of the better chances of the game. Good sharp save there. Sklaj couldn't quite get it far enough away for him. That was a bright start from Zebras. It had some good possession. They created that chance and things were looking good, but from there the game flipped and it's been pretty dominant from the Greens ever since. We have a look at the boxing match and a wrestling match there with Hughesley. Just trading to WWE temporarily. And then the procession started to begin. Wayne Walsh getting away with that one, but there'd be a handball they didn't get away with, or rather a foul, as we have a look at this Falcon header attempt. To the goals in a moment.
I mean, that probably more sums up Zebra's day rather than Bentleigh Greens. As nice chip through ball and a good block, but pretty much from that moment onwards it's been nothing but Bentleigh Greens. They've pretty much been able to stroke it around at their will despite the compact defence of Hobart Zebras. It'll be very interesting to see what they do at half-time, the Zebras.
Yeah, it's going to be a long way back for the Zebras. We'll see what adjustments are made by either side. I certainly expect a few from the Greens in the second half. We'll leave you with the rest of the highlights from a pretty dominant first 45.
Hey, I'm not going to do you, okay? Yep.
And we're back for the second 45 here at Darcy Street. Absolutely beautiful day, but perhaps that's not the perspective of the Hobart Zebras players as they wander back out onto the pitch. They've got a 5-0 deficit staring them down that they need to try and eat into a little bit, but it's going to be a tough task. We saw the class of Bentleigh Greens in that first 45. There's a fair gap between them, and I can already see one change has been made by the Zebras. Looks like Brady Watson's been introduced over there on the right wing. So I'll see if they've made any other changes. Warren is still there.
Not seeing a lot of Lockie Bird out there.
Yeah, 8. I think that's the only change. So yeah, it looks like Watson has come on for Burt. And I don't think the Bentley Greens have made any changes, but I'd like to have a look at the numbers rather than the faces before we make that call.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Looks like I'm not sure who that defensive mid is. It's the same goalkeeper for a start. That's definitely... Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of Strawberry Kisses Webster out there at the back, actually. Now that I have a look.
Actually, there is a big presence missing. 45 probably enough for the captain. And Starren, a changing goals also by the looks of things here. The Zebras, is it?
No.
No? Just a little bit late getting out of the pitch.
Yeah, Wilson just taking his time to get out there as we reassess Bentley's defensive lineup here. We've certainly got a bit of Marcus Duncan back on the field. It looks like that's a swap for Webster in the heart of defence. And also seeing number 16, which I'm going to assume is James Doyle, purely because it's the only one without a number. On our team sheet, that is. He has got a number on there, unlike a good deal of Brisbane Raw players. As we get out in the second half, Warrener, Geordie Muller. And again, straight to Charlie Stephen Fry on a slice of cheese already, so we'll don't want to make too many rash challenges in the second half. Back to Jankovic. And Doyle's dropped into a centre defensive mid-roll, and Kelly's pushed on just a tad for Bentley. I'm trying to see, it looks like the boxing match might be the other one who's come off.
Zidius has also come on there, the number 13 fullback, so there's been a few changes from both sides, and he might be playing in a slightly more advanced role, XYD. He's a very tricky player. So Hobart had to contend with yesterday. I was very impressed with the threat he offered. And back towards James Kelly they go, and they pull the trigger and thread it through. The flag stays down, so a drive is wide of the mark there from the Dim Sim.
Yeah, Timmy looking to get a third is very good. Three for $250 Dim Sim deal here at South Hobart, so it would be good to have 3 for Dimmy today.
More of a potato cake man myself.
Yeah, so am I. But, you know.
Been impressed with the Dimmy on display here though, there's no doubt. High quality Dim Sim, that one. This is headed forwards, and the height easily with Hugh Sluton in the end. Infringed, trying to get up to the great heights of Hugh Sluton.
Yeah, it certainly do need a ladder to try and go in a heading contest with Hugh Sluton sometimes. Just a nice bit of shade getting for the players on this grandstand side that we want to hope that happens as the half rolls on, as a good bit of body in to break up the play, and Hugh Sluton hits a nice ball down the channel to Sklanage. Can he keep it in? It's just overrun on the trueness of this South Hobart surface. Out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get there, much like Portugal the man with Feel It Still, who've fallen short of the top 20 football, so not happy with that.
No, you're not happy. It's a song you've heard of this year.
For unrelated reasons, as Marcus Duncan carries it forward. Some interest in the top 20 that's about to come before us, I think, Paul.
Yeah, I think one of us has got a little more invested than the other, but I'm also just curious how it'll go. That's a flick on from Sklanage, and Watson storming in, got in behind. Jankovic looks to cut it back, and unfortunately right to the feet of Charlie Fry.
Well blocked by Jankovic there, and good run there from Watson, a good first impact from the substitute.
How old is Watson? From up here, he looks about 16.
I'm not entirely sure exactly, but I'd hazard a guess around that age.
Around that?
He doesn't. Don't know though, to be truthful.
Certainly don't recall him from the 2 under-20s games I saw last season. As Hicks gets on the ball in a deep position. To Jankovic. And that's Dylan. And again, Zebra's still sitting back this second half, trying to invite Bentley to play passes like that, which Wilson quick off his line. Not quite as quick off his line as South Hobart's keeper was yesterday, but he's done well there as Wilson. And under considerable pressure, lays it out to Hughesloot, who goes the outside of the right foot chip shot. And it's in the back on the Colonel Sanders, who I reckon would need a pretty large kilojoule hit to recover all the sweat from this one. Maybe a $10 popcorn chicken bucket might be in the offing, I think, today.
Yeah, plenty of the herbs and spices required, because that's out of play, and they're going to look to take the quick throw and catch him out here, and it's going to be Dimmy again, who drives the near post for Lucas. Hughesloot got a foot in. Lucas trying the fancy little flick. Pulling. Sanders back to Muller. Jordan Muller looks up, didn't see an option, so spreads it wide for Warrener. That was well read. Sliding in there was Duncan, anticipating the only option he really had.
Yeah, didn't have too much there, as Sklanage was carefully marked from Fry. And Sanders not quite get that one underneath. Walsh just whacks that in the direction of his coach. Duncan with a quick throw, and a bit of salad watch on Duncan. There's a bit of shaving going on there. Nice bit of a fade down. There's Kelly looks up and only can find Muller. Sklanage getting a touch on the far side, plays it to the right back. Bloomfield on the far side, gives it away, and Watson looking to track back. And instead, Bentley will look to go out through their centre backs. Now Doyle, lanky defensive midfielder. Here's James Doyle. Looking to go out wide. He's got one pass on his mind, and it's out to Dylan. Immediately covered by Watson. Now Jankovic, and a word from a producer about another sub for the Zebras. Absolutely no number in sight at the moment, so we'll get to that one in a minute. Bentley just stroking the ball around nicely in defence. Good through ball in there, looking to the back post. Hughesloot bangs it into the keeper, and it's an own goal from Lukey Hughesloot. Last touch off Wilson, but I've got a feeling GB's goals panel may give that to Hughesloot.
Yeah, I think that's Hughesloot. He's showed his usual predatory instincts there and slid in and put it in the back of the net. Unfortunately not at the right end of the pitch there for the big fella. And another goal going Bentley's way, just the sliding block not quite executed there, and I think that's perhaps what you'll see when you play an attacking midfielder / striker as a centre-back. A little bit unfamiliar with it, not something he would have done all that often, and unfortunately it leads to another goal as a substitution.
Number 11 coming on for Zebras.
And that is Luke Biggin.
Biggin's on, and Bloomfield is taking a spot down on the bench. Biggin's gone into centre-back with Dwayne Pipe moving to right-back. Still not his natural position, but one we did see him in last year, and that ball's intercepted very quickly. Lucas trying to tee up his teammate, who blocked from Biggin. First touch of the day, and Kelly hits that one, and that has gone into the tenements behind us.
Yeah, just fearing for Zebras a bit here at the moment, Funty. This is looking like it could get ugly, a bit of a shooting possession. These opening few minutes of the half, they're looking a little bit laggy already. The chances are mounting, and there's just runners running free everywhere for the Greens.
Do you think it's a fitness thing?
I think Bentleigh decided to press him at the start of this half, and that's causing him a few problems they didn't encounter.
They just look out on their feet already, and there's still, if you include the obvious stoppage time, 40 minutes left in the game. As we see Wilson knock that one long, looking for the Colonel. Really eventually gets to him. He hasn't got too many options ahead, and eventually hits a long ball down to the corner flag. And no one else in sight. Throw in, taking about 10 yards further back from where it could have been. Something about weekends is the next song. Never heard of it, but you know.
Yeah, they're relevant.
Of no interest to us up here in the commentary box. It's Hicks. Picks the ball up in the centre of the park. Plays it to Doyle. Plenty of time and space out here for XYD. Nice through ball there, and Biggin clears it, but no advantage paid on the foul on Kelly. So another chance, or maybe Cavallo. Well, if Cavallo was still on the pitch, I'd say he'd come across and take it. That's who's come off for XYD. So there solves that sub about 8 minutes after it occurred.
It'll be the left foot instead of Jason Hicks to take it short, and then they chip it into the box, and it falls out the back. It might work out anyway as it's crossed to the back post and bounces off the woodwork, but it's gone across the line, so no danger there. Zidius getting involved, relishing the chance to line up in a more attacking role, it would seem. He's been winning everything thus far in the second half.
Yeah, good promising player is Zidius. And Zebra's throw, so they'll give that one back to Warren up. Couple of options down on the shady side here, one of which is the chest of Sklenage, who just about cops a boot to the face. So yeah, good chance for Zebras just to maybe push up or try and get one towards the back post, just even go a bit rugby union and almost kick for field position here, just to alleviate the pressure a little.
Yeah, they need something. Not really been able to get much of a foothold on the ball as Geordie Miller continuing to steal metre after metre here, and is eventually cottoned onto by the referee. So Muller sends this one to the middle of the box. Sklenage the target. It's a good header, but it's just wide of the mark. Powerful contact on it, the Czech striker. Just lacking the direction. Beautiful delivery there from Muller. Just couldn't quite guide that one on target. Sklenage, who had the only real clear-cut chance of the game, as XYD picks it up and then punches it down the line. It's not going to stay in. It was rolling along. Actually just deviated off as the dangerous Hicks was chasing after it. 55 minutes gone. Very early in this half. Nebris will be just hoping to get through the next 10-minute period or so and just settle things down a little bit.
Yeah, certainly agree with that. As Warren goes to the chest of the Colonel. Well cleared from XYD. Marked difference in the body language. Coach Markaj so far this half, he barely moved a muscle out of the Bunnings chair. And that's a good switch of play to the Dwayne Pipe, who's got Watson ahead, and that's a poor pass from the Dwayne Pipe. Left his team exposed. There's 4 streaming forward, one of which is Hicks. And offside called by Stratos on the near side. So it's away with that one. There's the Dwayne Pipe. Wilson will trot up and take the free kick. Looking around the crowd, a few South Hobart players and staff watching this match here. There's Walsh gets the ball back. Now Watson tries to get the 1-2, but well intercepted from Kelly, and the break's on again. It's 4v3 here. Kelly jinks inside, hits it low. And that's side netting from the former Bolton player, Kelly. And it's created a fair bit of space there from Hugh Sloot, and couldn't quite get on target.
He got the separation well, didn't he? Just bought the extra yards. Perhaps Hughes showing a little of his inexperience in defence there as Walsh picks it up and looks to drive them forwards. Gets it to Sanders. Now Ackley. Got a few forward if he can get it there. Ackley. Sanders had turned his back. And the Greens recover the ball. Just ran into trouble there, Ackley, although they've been gifted a throw in here. And they generate anything. Sklenage the target. He brings it down. And volleys it. And a real screenplay run there by Ivan on Sanders, which breaks that move up. Muller. Out to Watson. Brings it under his spell. Works it to Pullen, but it was a poor pass and it was well read there by Jankovic. And the offside flag is raised here, which will deny the dim sim. Another chance to go behind.
Yeah, not too many complaints from the Bentley bench down there, despite being right in front. Stratos, the assistant referee, who clearly got the luck of the draw, having most of his sideline in the shade today. Very happy with that decision.
He's pulled rank on young Zach Van Toor there. On the experienced ref, I'll have the shade, thank you very much. Tough day to be running the line, that's for sure. Tough day for the players.
Heard of any song called Rockstar?
Not released last year.
No.
There's this one who's worked forward. And not really interested in pressuring any of the Zebras. They're happy to just sit off and let Bentley knock it round. They're not having to work nearly as hard to work the ball out of defence as they did at times yesterday. Hicks dispossessed by Muller. Now Jankovic. Pressure from Sklenage on Kelly, and they force the turnover. Watson gets it to Muller. Watson again. And Muller's pass is well read there by Duncan. Cut it out. There's a sloppy passage of play this one, but there's a nice little 1-2 between Ackley and the Colonel Sanders. Ackley off to the races. He's charging into the box. Jimmy Ackley, XYD, making up very good ground on him. That'll be a corner. Should have been a corner. I'm pretty sure Exidius didn't get his boot on that one, but gets away with it.
Thoroughly enjoying the animation from the Zebras bench as we have a look, and that's a fairly obvious toe in there from XYD tracking back. Best bit of play this half from the Zebras, getting Ackley in that much space, but XYD using his pace to come back. The promising young winger for Bentley, who's on the ball now. Back to Doyle. And as we mentioned before, Sklenage isn't even starting the press in his own half. They're dropping that deep, the Zebras. Chip through ball in the direction of Lucas, who goes the ambitious volley. And that's comfortably on the roof of the net.
I think it's 6-0. Probably got the licence to go for that one. Maybe not a 0-0, but the way things have gone for Lucas this afternoon, can't blame him for taking the shot on. His confidence sky high at the moment.
Yeah, and it's looking like he'll keep that central attacking role for a good portion of this game. Very little movement on the sidelines of Bentley Greens as they win the header there, and Hicks now looking to play through the marksman Lucas. He's got Demi making a surging run inside, but can't quite wrap his foot around it enough there. Markaj barking out instructions along the lines of just play.
You can't win any header, try and play there.
Yeah, trying to play it in, but you have to have possession of the ball first, I believe.
Yeah, they've not really been able to play too much, the Zebs. Unfortunately, it's been Bentley in complete control of this one. Something certainly earned the eye of the coach here. Something his instructional program not being followed, as Ackley will have to give chase here again, but easily dealt with by Duncan.
I do like it when you can hear the coaches barking out the instructions, especially in a pre-season game. Just trying to get an idea of how they want to play, and obviously you have to play it out, but not quite the correct instructions followed from Wilson there. As Kelly gets on the ball and looks to switch it to the far side. Overlapping run from the dim sim. In a battle with the Dwayne pipe. Back to Dillon, who nice turns out of Watson. Lucas in the centre, trying to go the back flick, and well cut out by Biggin. Another play in the centre. Looks to go through Lucas with a look-away pass. Rolls it to Hicks. Now Dillon, and that's well cut out from Biggin again. He gets his toe on his own goalkeeper, but not quite in the own net like Hughes-Flute managed.
Look at the skills there. He is just extracting the urine right now, Jason Hicks. And he's doing as he pleases. Just dwelling on the ball, skipping one way and sliding it through. He's had plenty of time and space to operate. And they've run up the score a little bit. Hicks has been at the heart of a lot of it. So what can they conjure from the corner here? Everybody back for Zebras. The short option offered there by Riley Dillon is ignored, and into the middle of the box it goes. It's a teasing ball, and Lucas cracks a volley, cleared off the line, and then the rebound is deposited. And they find the back of the net anyway.
That's Dimmy for the hat-trick, I think.
Might be the hat-trick for the Dim Sim, just casually sliding it in, and it's 7-0 now, and this is getting ugly. Great first block on the line. Lucas got some serious purchase on this one. This is a fantastic block, all for nothing in the end. And then the number 17, indeed it was. Picks up his third, the Dim Sim. And 7 now for the Greens.
Yeah, it's getting a bit ugly for Zebras here. 7-0 already. I mean, it's, as we say, a good block on the line. And that Lucas rifle, that's under hit again from Biggin, and Warner was on his heels and eventually blocked. There, you've just basic errors like that there, just under-hitting pass or just waiting for it to come. You can't wait for it against his opposition as good as the Bentley Greens. And it really has been all one-way traffic in this game outside of that Sklanage shot in the first minute. Or, sorry, first 5 minutes.
Did suggest they might regret not cashing in on that one. Not that it would have made a whole lot of difference, and they might score again here this time. Sklanage doing the defensive work, headed it away. Hughes-Flute smashes it out of there, but it's like a man hanging onto a cliff here at the moment. Just a couple of fingers keeping him on top of it, but it looks like it could end with the alligators below snaveling them all up. It's just a team holding on under all sorts of pressure, and they are tiring under this sun too. Even at 7-0, I feel it could still get worse in this final 25, unfortunately for the Zebras.
Yeah, it does have that feel about it, as we see Doyle playing that one out wide to Duncan, tries to wrap his foot around it. Got Ackley for company, a bit of a size difference between the two. Now back to Duncan, no real pressure on the fullbacks of Bentley Greens being applied. As we can see, Riley Dillon screaming for it on the far side. Easy 1-2. Finally gets it as the youngster Watson for company. Back to Kelly. Try and get on his right peg. Eventually turns out that's good pressure from Pullen. Very much outsized is the youngster, but does well to hold his ground. Yeah, it certainly does. I think that would answer what the latest song is, as Sidious tries to tease his way past Ackley. Doyle being allowed plenty of time and space on the ball. Finds Kelly. The great Geelong player looks inside. Now Doyle. Do you think Archbishop Adrian's a bit too much of a stretch for Doyle?
Yeah, probably a little bit too far.
And the great privilege of listening to him on many occasions back in the day. And there's a bit of afters there with Colonel and Exsidious. Good bit of passion shown. Warrener making a very lung-busting run from centre-back. And that's surely a foul as he's all over Duncan in the back there. chat of, well, couldn't tell what the chat's with there. It's
to do with Exilius and the
afters.
Colonel. He's going to dish out a slice of cheese to XYD, and the Colonel thought he'd escaped, but he might not be that lucky. Bit of a talking to he might escape with. No, he's got a slice of cheese as well, so the Colonel can go and make a nice grilled cheese sandwich to comfort himself a little after a disappointing day for his side.
Yeah, sometimes you just need that zinger with a bit of extra cheese, and I think he was just trying to get a bit of zing into his team. But not a lot of passion in this second half shown, and very much one of the more one-sided games I've seen in a little while. Out wide to Kelly, and he doesn't really find anyone in the general vicinity out there. Appears we crashed. Not, so we have a sub now being prepared in front of us. Number 8 for the Zebras.
That's Bird, isn't it?
Yep, that is Bert. So all conventions of substitutes gone out the window, and it appears Marquez has decided to just have interchange.
Yeah, I think we've seen this in a couple of the games actually. That once your player's off, apparently they're not permanently done in these pre-season ones. So Bert will get another look unless someone's pinched his shirt, which is always a possibility, of course.
Look, it certainly is. I'm seeing Kamara still on the bench, Bloomfield. Otherwise, I mean, who else is on the bench for Zebras actually? Kamara, Statella, Biggin's on, Watson's on.
Surprised we haven't seen Statella actually.
Yeah, you'd think you'd want to get your import, especially acclimatised or just a few legs just to get familiar with the teammates, as we see Exilius on the ball for Hicks.
Whilst obviously very ugly reading in the scoreboard at the moment for Zebras. Might get uglier still. There's a chance here. He's cleared off the line by the long legs of Hughesley. Spectacular block there to deny Hicks.
Probably had his heart in his mouth that he was going to have another own goal there, sticking the leg out in that position.
There's a chance here. He's cleared off the line by the long legs of Hughesley. Spectacular block there. Yeah, showing some defensive prowess, but you wouldn't expect Hughesley and Walsh to be the centre-back pairing come round one of the MPL. I think Statella, and I believe they've got an American centre-back on the way over too.
Seems to be a thing with American centre-backs in this league. Olympia rumoured to have some as well, as going to the near post. Don't think he quite got the correct purchase on that, did the Dwayne Pipe.
But you throw those two, throw Jaden Hay back in there, going to look a lot different come round one.
Yeah, if you have Hay, Statella, Warrener and insert other centre-back, it's not looking too bad, as we see Lucas out wide and nearly gets to the head of Doyle. Hicks manages to pick that one up, and XYD's ended up well on the other side of the field to his normal position. Duncan looking to stream forward as the right backs have been allowed to from Bentley. Right to Lucas. Always feels like an attack v defence training drill here at the moment. As Kelly absolutely shanks that pass.
Not one on a great tempo either, if that's no. Said.
Yeah, it's more like the Metro Social attack v defence rather than NPL one. But it's good tracking there from Dylan. He'll now finally switch positions with Exilius. And a bit of confusion down on the bench, just looking to get the ball back.
Well, we may be here at Darcy Street, but in other street-related news, Smith Street Bandit at 21, Funty.
Oh, nice.
And that was interesting, to say the least. And then it's well fought over the top to the dim sim. He's already got 3, and he won't quite figure out Lucas. A fumble from Wilson, who's unaware. Lucas is bearing down behind him, and he slides in and just got there, Wilson.
That was
arriving like the thief in the night there.
That was Liam Reddy-esque from Wilson there, just trying to charge out of his box with reckless abandon. Duncan manages to get that return pass. Sidious in all kinds of space. Warrener looks absolutely shot down there in terms of fitness, but does well to get a leg in and commit a corner. If he didn't get that in, there wasn't much tracking back available there. out there. Those tuning in. See a few other sporting events on at the moment, so thank you for tuning in. Women's tennis about to start. A-League as well as Hicks.
Who's your tip for that one, Polly?
Which one?
Wozniacki or Halep?
Probably Halep, to be honest. As much as I do like Wozniacki, I do like a 1v2 in a final. It's such a rarity, especially, in tennis and also a lot of other sports, so it's good to have that 1v2, usually with injuries or a surprise or someone like Sharapova being a wild card or something like that. As we go back to Kelly, who's gone in the box, trying to take the whole team on, and it's a good save from Wilson. Timmy at the back post, tries to whip it back in, fires it right into Warren up. Eventually finds Doyle out back, so they'll look to probe again. Halep for me. What about you?
Yeah, I think this is where Halep clicks and starts her ascent as the dominant player in the women's game. This is her moment, but just fragile mentally she has been in the past, but very talented player.
Absolutely. Came down to Tassie a few times before hitting world #1 as well. Simona Halep. Happy hunting around at Hobart International as Duncan. It's that pocket of space that he's being so often allowed. Sidious on the wing. Back to Duncan. And again, this probing attack v defence matchup we're seeing here. Doyle underhits that pass, but such is the press of Zebras, it ends up being perfectly hit. Doyle again. Out to Exidius, who's going to check inside of Warrener. Does well, tries to get on the right peg. Tries to go round the defender, but well covered there.
He's such a smooth mover, Exidius. He just glides across the pitch. He accelerates so well with the ball and snaps past Warrener there. And he's done it to plenty of defenders over the past 24 hours. Very easy on the eye, as is this Bentley team, the way they play. Some instructions being dished out there to Charlie Fry at the moment from the coach. He's seeing something he's not overly happy with as the corner is whipped into the middle of the box. Wilson punches it up in the air, doesn't quite clear it. It's going to come back at him. He should be able to gather this one. Surprisingly lets it bounce, but there were no Bentley greens lurking, so safe enough.
Yeah, the golden rule of not letting it bounce in your 6-yard box there being flagged by Wilson, but yeah, I'm trying to think of a joke for this new song. I don't even know it. Peking Duck.
Well, Zebras fans may feel the team has let them down a little bit, Punty.
Well, that is
maybe,
true.
Maybe.
Yep.
I wouldn't be getting too worried about pre-season results, mind you. I'm sure the internet inevitably will.
Oh.
Such a place of rationality and reflective thought, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you're going to experiment, there's just no time to experiment. Pre-season games are all important. Got to win all of them.
Apparently. That's what I've been hearing for some quarters. Is this one's steered away by the Dwayne Piper. Looks to charge. Can they grab something back the other way? A consolation goal, perhaps. Walsh to Watson. Watson for Sklenage. Little back heel to Burt. Back to Watson. They switch it up to Muller. Muller's got Ackley in a little bit of space. He heads that direction. It's going to sneak away from him. Just kept it in. No, he didn't. Zidius sliding in. But crossed the line before then anyway. Just eluding Ackley. So a few nice passes, but unfortunately they've just not been able to complete those type of moves today, the Zebs.
Yeah, just trying to get that killer ball into their star striker, Jakob Sklenage, has just been missing a little bit as Bentley Greens warming up some subs, and they're going for the jugular with Cavallo looking at coming back on, so clearly interchange on both teams.
Yeah, the boxing match too, so a couple of their key attacking starters from today set to be reintroduced as James Ackley just skips around one, then threads it through for Burt. The youngsters combining with just the strength of Duncan, said, "Get out of here, kid," and whacks it away.
Yeah, men versus boys in that challenge at the moment. Hicks with time to control. Pullen, who's good body there from Sklenage into Burt. Now Sklenage again, back to Burt. Got Watson out wide. Just there's a pop with a player 6 inches in front of him. Now Hicks hits it straight down throat of the Dwayne pipe. And just a mistouch there from Pullen will allow Duncan to restart. Doyle to Exidius. Now going to try on the sunny side. Bentley Greens. Goes back inside, but to no one in particular. Pullen picks that one up. Back to Geordie Muller. And takes a few too many touches, but puts Kelly on the ground, who's now writhing in pain. Holding his ankle.
It's not what we want to see late in this piece. Never like to see injuries and so close to the end of this little weekend trip for the Greens. And the referee now signalling trainer on. He is slowly stretching it out, but
time for a drinks break as well. Everyone has gone straight to the sideline.
why not?
Cool bottle of water at hand.
Yeah, any chance you can get to be sneaking off for a drink in a day like this. Just a few minutes left in this one now.
What a minute mark are we in, actually? The monitor's just gone.
79th minute.
79th minute, all right.
So not too long left here.
Seb's.
Prepping another sub by the looks of things.
They are number 16.
Ali Sadaf.
Again, any inside info for me?
None whatsoever. In the know as per usual. No, another one of the youngsters, I think, but certainly a few unfamiliar names getting some minutes for this Zebras side. And he'll slide on now and he'll replace James Ackley.
Kelly moving a little gingerly on the sideline, but back to his feet. And Bentley have brought on Cavallo as well. Just trying to see if the boxing match is now up front, which it looks like he is. So the reserve keeper and Thurtell being left on the bench. Holmes looks like he's come on for Lucas. I can't see a number 9 out there anymore.
So a couple of changes pulled there. We're about to get back underway now. So the final 10 minutes here at Darcy Street, a second weekend featuring Zebras and South against Victorian opposition. This turnover here is pounced on by the boxing match, then a little nutmeg. And the classy Hicks gets to it, and then a little look away pass to Holmes. Real champagne football this, and the finish was missing. The Dimmy at a fourth to be just taken, really. Empty net, gaping there, beautiful build-up. What a ball from Holmes, and unfortunately the Dim Sim this time had just been lying around the Bay Marie a bit too long.
Yeah, he has there, Timmy. Had his chance to make himself the man by getting his fourth and overtaking, but couldn't quite capitalise there.
Could have been the leading scorer in the tournament, head up there with Thurtell.
He could have been the round robin tournament that we've got going on here. Should have kept it goal scorer list for these few games against Victorian opposition. As Duncan strokes that one back to Fry. Not quite got that killer's instinct there, Dimmy, unfortunately.
So our American friends have just checked into the countdown, not a shame.
Yeah.
So this one's worked wide.
Thought the man one went over the head, so I'll make it even more bleedingly obvious as the boxing match gets into Hicks, plays all nice ball to Exidius on the left peg, looks at the corner. That's a rifle of a shot from XYD. He is been, for my mind, the player of this tournament the last 2 days. I've been thoroughly impressed with the young winger, and that's an 8 for Bentley Greens.
Yeah, this guy's seriously good. XYD, James Idius. I mean, there was no doubt what the result was going to be. Just gets a little separation from Warren there, continues his run. Now he's got the space. And just sliding in behind that is a clinical finish. And 8-0 now the score.
I mean, he's hit it with power as well. It's one thing to make that kind of inside run, and Robin style, and then just bang it straight past the keeper. Wasn't right in the corner, but was already past Wilson before he put a hand out. And that is 8 for Bentley.
In even more promising news for Bentley, just saw Kelly walking into the locker rooms then, walking under his own steam unassisted, so it seems that the knock he's taken isn't overly serious. So good news on that front too as Hughes works it to Pullen. Later 1-2 with Burton, then looks to set Watson away. The real future of the Zebras combining here. Now Jakob Sklenar shields the ball and the keeper dives at it before the substitute could grab that one. It was good build-up play, but not quite able to find the back of the net there.
I think the substitute thought Sklenar was just going to turn and shot in one kind of movement there, but ended up letting it roll, and a crunching tackle there from Cavallo. Sklenar catches it down. He hasn't had much service today as Jakob Sklenar. He obviously had that shot after about 5 minutes, but we haven't seen him too much in the 18-yard box since. As Geordie Muller contests with Hicks, one of the few players to, I think, put in a full 180-minute shift here. I don't remember him coming off yesterday.
Yeah, I think you might be right with that. He's been heavily involved. Looks like a key man in this Bentley team. Very skillful player. He's been a real treat to watch in these two games, and the Greens will be happy with the weekend's results.
It's one of the times I'd really love to interview Gabby Marquez to get his thoughts on this game. Still on a media ban for a while as we'll cut from that, and Cavallo tries to get through to the back post. To the dim sim, but Hughes' outstretched legs once again stops that move in its tracks.
I reckon this is the game where the media ban's appropriate, actually, Funty. I reckon this is the type of game where that policy makes sense. I think for a bit over the top majority of the time. I don't see kind of pre-game what any issue would be. I think after a result like this is maybe where we got in trouble last year, so I can understand the policy, but yeah, look, got to be a bit more open, I think.
Yeah.
The Zebs.
Very closed-door media policy so far in the NPL Taz between Zebras and Olympia.
It's just exactly how they are, mate.
As you go right into the mixer, and at the back post, Stephen Fry tries to pick it up. Good turn. Goes the shot and got a fair bit of power on that. Did the centre-back, Wilson, with the early throw to the youngster, but unfortunately cut out there by Doyle.
That wasn't a shot, Zebras, by the way. That was ballpark music. Checking in number 18 as the countdown continues. We're always going to have 18 gold the way we're going here as Holmes finds the side netting.
I did assume that.
Yeah, we got to find our entertainment, I guess.
Yeah, still no coach for Olympia this season.
Oh, there's a coach.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Glad FFT Media Insider's onto that one, because the rest of us lackeys are left in the dark.
I think it's one of the worst kept secrets going around, but I believe there'll be an announcement around that in the next week.
Lovely. So here is Jakob Sklenar. Look, every time they have pumped it long to him, he's won most of the headed contests against the likes of Duncan and Fry. Maybe not Webster, but just haven't quite got that service to the check marksman. And now into Hicks. Chips a lovely through ball over the top of the Dwayne pipe. Back inside from Dylan. Through to the boxing match. Back to Hicks. Toying with the opposition. And bursting through his Holmes, and well blocked there from Biggin. Sklenar is going to look to release down the line, but unfortunately Fry is back again, and Siddharth couldn't quite get onto that one. Sidious back to Holmes. Warrener surely didn't touch that, and correct call from Strados given. Goal kick.
Just a few minutes left here. I think the Zebras will be quite happy for the final whistle. Trying to escape without shipping anymore. And do feel a bit sorry for James Wilson. Don't think he's really been at fault today. The goals. Well, looks good for a key for that score sheet, but certainly can't be faulted.
Yeah, that is pretty much correct. I mean, he was been a bit unlucky, and I think Sklenar was a little bit offside.
He knew it. Didn't
with
even
that
bother.
one, and didn't really bother for that one.
I think at this stage of the game, you're not going to be going for the sprint if you don't have to. That would have been in vain. There's a few tired Zebras out there at the moment. These XYD just lobs this one along the line. That is great body work from the boxing match just to get him behind Warrener, but Biggin was there to cover for him.
Well, we're on the off tangent of other sports, $1.8 million for Mitchell Stark at the auction. I wouldn't mind his bank balance anytime soon.
Worth every penny.
Absolutely. As we see Jakob Sklenage offside. Manages to put it away calmly, but maybe just straight a fraction early. We'll have another look. Have to go back a tad to see that. It was a good run, but just whether he went early or not. We'll have to see as we have another look. Yeah, definitely.
Comfortably.
Just stepped up at the defender on the far side.
Yeah, good decision there from Zach Van Tool on the line. Spot on tight call. Lovely little finish from Sklenage, but unfortunately, all for naught. To the final couple of minutes here. Duncan just across, receiving the ball from Fry there, and he goes back in that direction, but it finds its way to the keeper. He'll punch out the other side. No real tempo to this game now. Both teams just waiting for that final whistle. Bentley building here though, and they might yet find a ninth. Advantage paid. And gliding through them is the boxing match. Can he dissect them? He finds X, Y, and D, cuts it back, and it's over the top there. It wasn't far away there from Christian Cavallo. A lovely build-up in the boxing match with the ball on a string and just unlocking the defence to the ever-impressive Zidius.
Yeah, Holmes just directing traffic in the last 15 minutes. He's come on, just holding there and just screaming to the Zebras, if you want to be as good as me, boy, better practice. As we see a foul given there. That's the
Lyrical reference?
That's the only song. I can't reference the title of that song, so. One of the. Luckily, the chorus is in English because I've got no idea what the verse is of that song. Long ball from the free kick in the Sklenage direction. Fry does well to shield, but it looks like he got a touch on it, so a corner kick. 4 Zebras in the 90th minute. First time it's been down that end for quite some time.
Send the keeper up. Get him up there. Why not?
Come on, Wilson. 8 to 9's not going to make much difference.
8-1 would.
8-1 would, exactly.
You have that consolation marker. Oh, Jimmy, get up there. Look at that Italian keeper.
Yeah, I was going to reference that one from Sassuolo.
So, a corner to be swung in. The last chance here for Zebras to conjure up something. Geordie Muller just sneaking into the box here. Sklenage the target over his head and deflects behind for another corner. It's a good run by Sklenage, but just overran it. He escaped the clutches of the defender. So take 2. Well, not really sure what the ball boy's going for there. He's right in front of you, sir. Anyway, we get there eventually. Lockie Burt gets it up, zooms into the box, crosses near post. Locked away by the defender, and Ivan says that's enough of this and brings to an end a thumping victory for the Bentley Greens. 8-0, the most decisive of wins for the visitors.
Yeah, certainly one of the more one-sided pre-season friendlies, and even in Bentley's defence, they almost took their foot off the gas the last little bit there as well. Handshakes all around between Bentley. They've enjoyed their journey down to Tasmania. We've certainly put the weather on for them the last couple of days. Good hit out for them as well. Zebras possibly back to the drawing board. Coach Markaj, 8-0. Whilst it's a good time to practice, it's still not a scoreline you really want to end up with.
No, I don't think there's any point in reading too much into these results. They're not going to be facing opponents of the calibre of Bentley Greens and Hume City down here. They'll have probably 4 or 5, maybe even more, into the starting lineup come round 1. So obviously not ideal. I don't think they're going to be happy, but I don't think there's any need to overreact just yet. But I think last 2 weeks have probably reinforced to us that South Hobart remain the benchmark, and there's still a bit of a gap between them and Zebras.
Yeah, there is that little bit of a gap between first and kind of that next tier, I guess. Haven't seen too much of Devonport so far, so I don't want to rule them out, but certainly Zebras with a little bit of work to do, and even though it's a pre-season, coach is going out for a quick chat with the referee, even in pre-season, so maybe just having a bit of an event there from the coach. But yeah, as you say, still a couple of players to come in, and then maybe another import or 2 if Markaj can find them this year.
And we'll find that out in the coming weeks. We've got another South Hobart game coming up next week. They'll take on Pascoe Vale next week. We'll be here for that one. Until then, it's bye now from the Slice of Cheese commentary team / tennis punditry / hottest 100 updates. And we hope you've enjoyed our nonsense. Well done, as ever, to Ash Wilkes and Veloster, bringing you these wonderful images. We'll have more in a week's time. Until then, a highly successful trip this was for Bentley Greens. And it's bye for now.